This part, we're going to talk about the Singapore stocks. So I'm going to start off with what I left off last week. So I mentioned about the medical counters, the gloves counter. So there's something that I observed I just want to cover because first of all, last week I did mention that I wasn't that convinced about the rally, but I want to see a change in trend. Then I'm more sort of like more convinced. So last week, what we left off, we saw the counter during the start of the week managed to continue its rally. Most of the counter, I would say, MedTech, Top Gloves, Riverstone, UG, but they start to have their sell off. So their sell off was, kind of like uncharacteristic because there's some hint that was given by Riverstone. So what we see here is that MagTech, Top Gloves, look at all these counters, right? I'm going to put them together in the four charts. You can see UG Healthcare, MagTech, sort of like very concerted action. Why? Because all these three counters has strong rallies, two white strong candles. Yeah. So then followed by consecutive sell-off after the market know more about Omicron. Okay, only Riverstone. Okay, Riverstone followed the two counters rallied, but it rallied with a long upper shadow formed after the end of the trading. Somehow it tends to go close lower, and then the sell-off actually broke its support level, unlike the other two or three counters, right, rather. Okay, unlike the other three counters. So what does this mean? Okay, well, this could mean that there might be potentially more sell-off. But if you were to scrutinize the other three counters in a smaller picture, you do see they break their minor support. Like for example, UG Healthcare broke down its 35-cent support. Top Gloves broke down, MedTech broke down its 39 cents minus support. It's an intraday support over here. It actually trade lower. And then Top Glove actually broke down this minus support below 88 cents. So this might be the sign of potentially more sell-off. So we're going to see how the chart move off. But then the selling on Riverstone actually startle me, because if the market is bullish about this counter, they should be a subtle sell-off and then rebound after that. But seems like yeah, there's something more to it. But of course, one thing to note is that the volume of this sell-off wasn't that high, wasn't compared to the buying, wasn't that strong. So you can see the volume over here, except for Riverstone is a little bit higher, but it's still considered as low. So next week is going to be crucial for these four medical counters. Then we're going to move into these banks. I did mention that the banks actually may correct certain percentage, like DBS. I actually targeted 7.2%, right? And last week was the end of November, crossing over to December. Just nice hit onto this rebalancing act from MSCI, and you can see this strong volume over here, which resulted in a very low closing for DBS, and this is the the sign of adjustment. And what happened the next day was that DBS rebounded strongly to close significantly higher, and right now seems like it's struggling to move up, as although it tends to open lower but always close higher, but still it is some sign of struggling over there, because there is two consecutive days that open lower and trying to fight back most of the time, probably attributed to the US market as well. Okay, OCBC, we do see the rebound, same as DBS open lower, close higher for the past 2 days, with its immediate resistance at 111 sub 37 to break. UOB, we are looking at the resistance tested at 2639. So looking at more signs from the banks, if the banks were to form a double bottom or some other signs, maybe we can slowly add some positions into these banks. Okay, now AEM actually move up very strongly. I did mention in my email about this counter potentially moving up, but there are some slowing down action. However, if I were to switch to the weekly chart, it seems to be okay. Okay, so next week we're going to see how it pans out, whether it can hit the target at 540 next week. The next interesting counter probably is UMS. Over here, I'm going to just turn on UMS as it consolidating over, or it consolidated over this zone of trading. We are looking at the stocks to break up from its consolidation above this downtrend line, and probably has to hit above 152, and with a high volume or significant volume around 8 to 9 million. Okay, now this counter that you probably will be looking at is also ISDN. We are looking at some fight back over here with this solid white candle, and there are some slow action here on this two particular day. So probably what we want to see is that this counter continue its trajectory up, and we are looking at it to cross above 735 in order to move significantly higher to 785 target. Of course, in between, we also have 745 resistance to break as well. So this is significant. Okay, so this is for the week ahead. So take care, and I'll see you again next week.